I've got a goddamn email here. This is not concerning wrestling, but we do a lot of topics here on the program, and this is a relationship issue. And we have in the past given some relationship advice. But this just struck me, and I wanted to bring this to you. Lizzie emailed me. Dear Jim, please, can you give a shout out on your podcast to my boyfriend? He's actually just become my ex because apparently I talk too much about insulating the attic space in his home, and that annoys him because he doesn't want to know. He listens to your podcast. Well, he doesn't want to know about the attic insulation.
All right.
He listens to your podcast radio things all the time. So please, if you could, because it may get me back in his good books and also the humor value would be great, would you be able to give a call out to Arn Warren? His name is Aaron Warren, but that's his music handle. And tell him you know all about attic insulation because you've been speaking with Lizzie. I'm desperate to win back his heart and love him very much, but I went on and on so much about his insulation with a load of shoulds that I'm now dumped after 7 years. Kind regards, Lizzie. Well, let me tell you something, Arn Warren, if that is indeed your real music handle. Or Aaron Warren, if that is indeed your real name. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, you low-down, gum-bumping sack of snake feces, for doing what you have done to this obvious, kind woman, this flower of womanhood, this delicate blossom that has given you 7 years, the best 7 years of her life. I bet it probably wasn't the best 7 years of your life. You probably never had a good 15 minutes. But she's given you 7 years, Arn Warren. And what do? You dump her over the attic insulation. For one thing, if you're not insulating your attic, then you're not a proper man.
Wait until after she does the basement.
Well, are you trying to tell me that Arn Warren doesn't insulate his basement either?
It doesn't sound like he's really caring very much about insulation, does it?
What kind of fucking moron is Arn Warren? I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, I had my crawl space underneath my house vapor locked and sealed. They went in, they cleaned everything out. They polished it all up with the antibacterial stuff. They put a liner around all of it so the dirt and shit wouldn't settle all over the place. It was just amazing. It's the cleanest room in the house. And I just had my heating and air guy out, and I said, that attic fan, it's old, it needs to be replaced. I would like someone to come out here, and I would like them to show me their best line of attic fans so that I can choose the proper attic fan of exhaust system to go along with, give me an update on my insulation. Do I need any further insulation in this attic? Because I am a homeowner that takes care of his property, and Lizzie, you can do better. Because obviously this guy wants you to live in a hovel, wants you to live like some street harlot, in the gutter, broke and penniless, barefoot, with your feet swimming in sewage, while you're asking passersby for a spare nickel or a bite of their Subway sandwich. That's the life you would have, Lizzie, if you lived with Arn Warren or Ern Wren or Aaron Rentz or whatever his fucking name is. A man who will not insulate his attic, and I don't even want to talk about the basement, deserves nothing but scorn from you, young lady. You can do better.
What did she call it? Your podcast radio thing?
The podcast radio things that we do here. He's a big fan of them. I don't know how he slipped into the cult. I bet he hasn't even ordered his membership certificate. 8x10 membership certificate on heavy cardstock in full color. Hear that? This ain't some fucking color Xerox and some of these fucking shysters pawing off on you for your hard-earned pennies, folks. This is quality merchandise. But anyway, fuck you, Aaron. Arn Warren. Arn should have warned you, Lizzie. You know what she ought to do?
Lizzie?
7 years, Brian. Who else have we been talking about here? She.
What should Lizzie? Do you think Lizzie's listening? I mean, Arn Warren is listening. Do you think Lizzie's listening after she wrote this letter in?
Well, she sounds like a fine young lady that uses her left and right turn indicators. I'm sure she listens to a number of podcast radio things.